Hello, and welcome to the Practical AI Lady. My name is Lady, and I am the Practical AI Lady. The purpose of this channel is to make AI more approachable, applicable, helpful, and maybe even more human. So, I figured the best way to introduce you to the channel would be to show one of my favorite AI tools, and that is Notebook LM, which is an experimental product by Google. So, in order to participate, you're going to need to have a Google account, and you're going to need to be working in Google Chrome. And we're going to be working with Notebook LM. And the purpose of Notebook LM is you upload sources into it, and then it analyzes those sources, summarizes those sources, and you can then interact with AI to ask questions about the sources that you uploaded to the notebook. So if you click on your little waffle and you're signed into your Google account, click on your little waffle in the upper right hand corner, and you should see Notebook LM down near the bottom. If you never opened up Notebook LM before, it will usually open you up to a brand new notebook. I'll go ahead and open up a notebook, and so it's a screen that looks like this. Now, there are a couple different ways that you can upload sources to Notebook LM. You can search the web, so I could ask a question here. I could ask, you know, what are some good time management strategies for people with ADHD? And it will do some quick research on the web, and it'll ask me if I want to pull any of the sources that it looked through, and I can choose what I want to include and what I don't want to include. You can also do deep research, where it looks through, it formulates a plan of how it'll go about doing its research. It'll ask you to approve it, and then it will perform the research and produce a report at the end. You can upload files from your computer. You can link websites and YouTube videos. You can upload from your Google Drive, and you can just copy text directly into it. I figured that an interesting way to show you how you could possibly work with this is using Google Sheets, using a spreadsheet. Because you can, like I said, you can use websites, PDFs, documents, but you can also use Excel sheets or Google Sheets and analyze the information and the data in the Google Sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this Google Sheet from my drive. This is just a dummy, financial tracker. It's going to generate a title for the notebook based on the source, which you can always change by clicking up at the top. Made it all weird. It's going to provide you a brief summary, and then over here you'll see, here's my source. I can click on it. It'll give me an overview of the source, and then I can see parts of it. Here's where I can ask questions. And then the studio allows me to create all kinds of different fun goodies, which we'll look at. But let's just look at asking questions. So I can ask, let's do something we can check. What were my expenses for May? And then see how it cites that it's getting it from this source. It's not going out on the internet. It's getting all the information from the spreadsheet. And it says, for May, my total expenses were $3,750. Let's see. So let's see, expenses $3,750 for May. So you can see that is correct. All right. So I could get it to make a prediction. So I could say something like predict what August expenses will look like, or predict August expenses, and it's going to go through and it's going to explain its reasoning to you, and it's going to give you a prediction. So this is what it's predicting for August. Now, remember that AI can make mistakes. AI is not perfect. It is not always correct. So you always want to be sure you check your outputs. That's why I'm showing you with things that you can check relatively easily with your data. But you always want to be sure you check your outputs with AI. So this is the prediction, and then I might want to get a tailored report or a slide deck to help me visualize these trends and plan my budget for the rest of the year. And I'm going to say yes. So it's actually going to create a report for me over here. I can ask it to create a slide deck for me as well, but I can go over here and do that. And I could ask it to create a slide deck about something specific. I'm just going to not give it any instructions and just see what it comes up with. I can create a mind map. And again, I can give the topic, or I can just see what it comes up with. For the podcast, you can do a brief podcast, a deep dive. You can do a debate. I can have people debate about my spreadsheet. Tailored a discussion for college students learning basic money management. That's another thing that I think is really cool about Notebook LM is it gives you possible prompts you can use down here for some of the studio options. So, debate whether to invest extra savings or prioritize paying down debt. So that sounds good. I'm going to go do that one. So I'm doing a debate, and I'm going to do a default one, and I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. But you could also just hit generate and see what happens. Now, this is a free account, right? So there are limits to what I am able to produce. You do have a limit. So I've reached my audio limit, and it says to come back later when my usage for that rolls over. For specifics on that, you definitely want to check Notebook LM's pricing information, maybe even be interested in upgrading if you feel it would be worth it or helpful for you. Let's go ahead and look at our mind map that it created. So it created a mind map, and it broke down my income, summary scorecard, my expense categories, and my monthly performance. And the cool thing is I can actually click any of these and it will go into more detail about it. So tons of ways to analyze and visualize the data on the spreadsheet. Now, if I update this spreadsheet, let's say I put in August, and let's keep things about the same. So let's do 6,000, and then let's say we had a really crazy month, went wild. It was August, it was summer, so we spent 4,000, and so our net savings would be about $2,000. And then let's say in September, I don't know whose expenses these are. They look nice. In September, I would, let's say, let's keep it good. Let's say and so what would that be? Overhead. And you always want to check your own math too. All right. So I've updated this now with August and September. If I go back to Notebook LM and I click on my spreadsheet, it gives me the option here to sync with the spreadsheet on my Google Drive, because now the spreadsheet that Notebook LM has access to is not up to date. It's still missing August and September. So if I hit click to sync, it will now be updated with the updated information. Again, it's always important to check your outputs. AI is not always right, it is not always accurate. Um, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is experimental from Google, so they are making changes and updates to it, and you know, additions and changing things as new features are implemented. Here's the performance summary report. And again, you always want to be sure you check your outputs before you submit them, you know, to anybody else or let's see, you can make videos and you can have different styles of videos. So I could do present these numbers as a financial advisor explaining savings trends to a client. So I can do that and do a kawaii video. There's tons of ways. So anything that you use a spreadsheet for, maybe you use a spreadsheet for your daily tarot card draws, or maybe you use a spreadsheet for your video games, or maybe you use a spreadsheet for grades, or maybe you use a spreadsheet for inventory. Anything along those lines, you can use Notebook LM to analyze and break down the data on the spreadsheet and update the notebook so that it stays in sync as the spreadsheet continues to grow. So here's an example of the slide deck. So it produced this slide deck. And again, if I were doing this for like a presentation for work, I would definitely, again, check this, make sure that it is correct, make sure that there aren't typos, because that does happen. We actually just got the ability to revise specific slide decks. So if there was a typo on this page, I could revise it and say what I would like changed about this specific page. There's a whole bunch of things to explore with Notebook LM. And like I said, I'm just showing you spreadsheets because I think it's really neat and I think it's something that people don't generally think of using with Notebook LM, but you can use this with PDFs, documents, websites, URLs, news articles, and then have fun creating and learning and exploring your content in different ways through the studio. I did this example with finances, and I just want to again say that you know, any financial decisions that you make are, you know, that's, you know, your choice, and I'm not in any way a financial advisor. This data is all fake, and AI also is not, a financial advisor. So just, be mindful and remember that you are the one in control. So give Notebook LM a try. Let me know what you like about it. Let me know what you dislike about it. Let me know your questions. Um, Let me know your fun ways that you experimented with using it. Um, Alrighty, enjoy.